Hello everyone. We are well underway of the coronavirus epidemic and been sitting here quarantined for the past probably about a month and a half now, and wanted to find a new hobby that I would love to get into. And I've been watching a lot of the videos on YouTube and came across a gentleman by the name of Rob under Rob Finds Treasures, and he had picked out a really good hobby for himself. I've watched a lot of his videos and it was coin roll hunting. And I thought that that was something that would be interesting and neat for me to get into. I'm very big into the collecting scene. I was very big into Pokemon cards when I was younger, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, very competitive, and really thoroughly enjoyed increasing my collection and getting a collection up and running. So when I came across this hobby, I thought it would be something interesting for me to get into. I had a jar full of old coins and everything that I had dug through, and decided to kind of dig further into the whole coin roll hunting. So I started today. I went to the bank local to where I am at, and decided to pick up 5 rolls of nickels. And I'm going to go ahead and start documenting part of my procedure and part of my journey into this new hobby. I think it's going to be fun. Really interesting. I've seen a lot of people with rare finds, and the idea to pick up something in a roll and have a piece of history with you, right? I think that's you can't understate that. You know, to have a coin that, if I've seen a lot of people find them in the late 1800s, early 1900s. I mean, that's a piece of history. These are, you know, coins that are no longer in circulation. They are no longer easily found. And, you know, some of the designs and everything that go along with these coins are something that a lot of people who enjoy collecting treasure. So today I went ahead and just picked up, you know, 5 rolls, $10 worth of nickels. Again, this is something new. I don't know if I'm going to be very big into it, but I have a feeling that I would be. And really, I'm excited about this. I think it's going to be fun. And I think this is going to be something that I hope progresses into something bigger. And without further ado, we might as well break these open and see what we can find. I look forward to it, and I will definitely bring you into anything that I do see in regards to what I get and kind of break it down for you. So without further ado, let's go hunting. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start. As you can see, I am ready with my Corona stash here, my 6-pack of toilet paper. And I only break open in case of emergency. But all jokes aside, I've got my 5 coin rolls here. And, you know, one of the things that I see in a lot of the videos is you look at the coin facing to see if you got anything good. I will tell you, I am not a pro at this by any means. So even if I could see what some of these were, I wouldn't be able to tell you immediately whether or not they were something valuable. And the reality is I really am not expecting to find anything of significant value. The goal that I am going to do today is going to break these up into decades, and then as I get to some of the older decades like the 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s, so on and so forth, I will do by individual year. And then we're going to look for the actual mint marks that go along with them and see if we find anything of value or anything that I find interesting. Because at this point in my coin roll hunting, I do not expect to find anything of value or know what I am looking at. So bear with me. And we are going to go ahead and break open the first roll. Now in the first roll, looks like we have a newer coin up top and a newer coin on the bottom. But let's go ahead and get started. All right. And I'm sure as time goes on, that'll become a lot more elegant, but we are going to begin. First coin is a 1979. We have a 1990s, and then 2016. And I'm going to speed this process up and then kind of go over at the end to kind of see where we're at. But so far, 2010s, 1990s, and then the 1970s. Got excited for a second. Got my first semi-older coin, 1964. nickel from 2004, the Louisiana Purchase, different design. I may have seen that at some point in my life, but it is not ringing a bell. Alright, first roll done. As you can see, majority of them 2010, 2010s, 2000s, 1990s, and then very few before that. So let's go ahead and break up this second roll. Ah! 1999 Canadian nickel. That's pretty cool. Set that off to the side. And a Lewis and Clark nickel. I feel like the 2000s were a good year for some of these other types of coins. That's pretty neat. I don't know if I'm going to keep it just because it's such a young, like not too long ago. Granted, what's crazy to think it's 16 years ago now. Ah, got a 1955. Got a little bit of gunk on it. So we'll definitely look that guy up here in a bit. Mint mark this, or what mint location this came from, and it is from Denver. You can see it very faintly in the bottom right hand corner, but I have a 1955 Denver, no idea what that means. And then 1960s, I have there's no mint mark on that, and a Denver. It looks like I had two 1964s, one from Denver, and I think a no mint mark means Philadelphia. Uh-oh, I see a darker coin. I don't know if that means anything special or if there's just wear and tear. But this looks like a lot of newer style coins, so we shall see. Ooh, got a 1940. And no mint mark on that one, but this one is a 1940. And it's in pretty, I guess, decent condition. I mean, it looks pretty clear. A little bit of rubbing on the Monticello that is there, but that's pretty neat. That coin, as of right now, is 80 years old, which, I mean, blows my mind the fact that I could be touching something that has passed through so many different people's hands. It just, I find pleasure in that. I think that's neat to think about. But then again, that's true of any coin. And, nope, just 1970. Just very, very dark. So nothing special. Or maybe, who knows? Because I damn sure don't. Alright, so now we are on the fourth roll. And I don't know if this is pretty common. I mean, so far I have 50 nickels that are from the 2010s. And as you can see, it kind of goes down from here. So far, we have one 1940. Looks like one 1955 Delta, I think, or not Delta, Denver, which is pretty neat. So I have two coins that are 65 years or older. And we'll see what continues to come out. Roll number 4. I see one a little bit different. I'll come back to that one later. I like to surprise myself. Ooh, got a 1954. A little bit older, a little bit more worn down. All right, and then the dark coin, 1966, and I don't see a mint mark on it. Pretty well worn, not too terribly old, but we'll put it in the 1960s pile. Again, I don't know if any of these are worth anything, but I think it's neat to break it down. As a recap, 2010s, we're up to, what, 50, 60 something nickels there. And out of 10, so a fifth of my nickels have been, well, so far a quarter of my nickels have been this, which is pretty cool. Is that right? Am I doing my math right? 50 times 4, a little bit shy of that, but close enough. And we're going to go to the fifth and final. Dropped one there. And let's get into the final portion of this. And hopefully we find an old coin. I don't see anything that stands out, but might as well continue to see what we got. That one's a very shiny 2000 nickel. Hardly anything wrong with that nickel. I thought it would have been a lot newer than 20 years, but that's crazy. That's probably the shiniest one I've seen. $1963. And as luck would have it, the last coin I have is a 1949. A lot of gunk on this coin. Looks like, I'm going to have to clean that up a little bit. But this is a 1949 nickel to go along with my 1940s. And I have two 1954, well, sorry, one 1954 and a 1955. I would imagine that would be the highlight of what I have. With that being said, oh, and I got my little Canadian nickels. Yeah, can't forget that guy. But all jokes aside, as you can see, the kind of layout that we have, the 20 years and up is all of these, and then everything else was newer. And as you get further and further down the list, obviously, it tends to drop off at that point. But I think this was fun. I really do. It was interesting. And to hold, a piece of history, 1940, 80-year-old coin in my hand. And I really hope I get to find older than that. And then all the way up to a 1955. But at this point, my next job is to look and see if there's anything value in the 1960s and the 1970s, just because I don't know. And see if I need to pick anything out of there. Of course, I'll look at all the other ones, but I highly doubt I need to keep any of these. And we will check back in. Alright, so to break down what we've gotten besides our Canadian nickel, which I think is pretty cool. I went ahead and just took a look online, look at some coin value books. By no means is any of this, worth any real money in any ways. And chances are the quality of the coins that I do have aren't worth a lot of money either. But I picked out all the ones that were worth something. And obviously everything up here was things that were no longer of any value. Pretty much all these are face value. And I'm left with, what does it look like? Out of all that, 8 coins. Now, I took a look online and saw that I had two 82 Denvers. I had an 84 Philadelphia, an 82 Denver, an 83 Philadelphia, a 1949 with no mint mark on it. I don't think. It has a lot of gunk on it. And then a 1954, again, no mint mark on it, as well as my 1940. And honestly, it's surprising. The 1940 was worth, I think, the least out of all of this. Maybe the 1954. This one of them is worth a penny above face value. And then the ones that are the most rare, apparently, out of all of these are my 82 Denvers, which I'm going to keep all of these only because I think it's neat that each of these are worth something a little bit more than face value. And as I get more and more into this hobby, I plan on, getting a book, putting them in there, and just holding on to them for some time and see where we can go. with it. But this is it. This is my first coin roll hunting experience, and I think it was fun. I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed the process of finding the coins and then obviously separating them out, and then doing the end portion of looking it up online and verifying what was worth anything, if anything was worth the value. And again, not anything spectacular by any means, but this was my first true going to the bank, getting coins, and breaking apart the rolls. And I will say it has been a process. I do recommend it, and I look forward to the next hunt.